thank you for joining me today for another process video. 30 days of sketches is over now and I'm going it alone, doing my own designs, and I really wanted to document this lovely photo of myself and Jackie at the January Warrington Crop for Paper Crafters. Our lovely friend Gwen took this photo. She is our official photographer there. She takes the most amazing photos every time she's there. It's just wonderful. So I printed the photo out in 4x6. It did print it slightly larger than it was originally, I think because of the size of my photo paper compared to the size of the photo, but I still like the way it cropped. The only thing I wasn't that keen on was the fact that my water bottle is front and centre and very, very bright in the photo. So I'm going to do something to cover that shortly. So I'm using Joyful Notes from Pink Paislee. It's the new collection that they've brought out and it's absolutely glorious. There are a lot of sort of happy birthdays and things like that, but it's very easy to work around those. And I saw this card in the 6x8 paper pad that says, "You make the world a better place." And I wanted to put that on this photo of Jackie because she really does. She's such a wonderful person, an amazing friend, and I wouldn't not have her in my life. So I just wanted to document that. So there was also this card that said "Sweet Friend," so I'm adding that as well. And Jackie is the queen of layering. I'll add her Instagram in the description box below. I'm pretty sure it's Jackie Scraps, but I will double check and add that in the description box. Do go and check her out. Her layouts are gorgeous. She works for Paige Taylor Relevance design team, and for she has worked for Ellie's studio in the past as well, and obviously she's on the Hey Little Magpie design team. Brilliant designer. So you can see I've just cut up a load of papers from the 6x8 pad and I'm just doing some layering here. I didn't mind too much what size I was cutting the papers. I just sort of cut chunks, and then as I say, I'm going to layer them behind the photo, and the photo has been matted onto some white cardstock just to provide that border to get some separation between that and all the patterns that are going on behind it. So just bringing this last piece in, and then I am going to go into the 12x12 papers to bring a little bit more height to that stack that I've got going on there. So I go for this lovely navy paper. So just trimming off the branding strip and then adding a strip of that. I don't go the full 12 inches, but I do go pretty long, and I'm just going to tear off the bottom just to create a little bit of interest at the bottom there. So you can see I was just working out where to tear, and then I tore off the edge. So Jackie lives about an hour and a half away from me, but she makes the trip up to the Warrington Crop most months. There are a few when she's already got prior engagements and she can't, but it's just lovely to catch up. This is where the Nest Box kit club, I suppose, if you like it, was born as well, and we love doing those for you. If you haven't checked those out, again, I'll leave it in the description box down below. Now this black piece is actually a sneaky peek of a new die that we've got coming into Hey Little Magpie. They're just being made at the moment. I just love these hand-drawn arcs. That was one that I drew myself. It was definitely inspired by the Vicky Boutin stickers on, I think it was Print Shop. She had a sticker similar to this and I just loved it. I could have used 50, so I thought, right, I'll create a die that works like it. So the dies that we do, the border dies, are really long. This one's 21.5 centimetres, I think it is in total. So they make a really nice border along the side of papers and things. So just distressing the edges again of these cards. I'm so sorry if you can hear that. We've just got an April shower coming over at the moment. We've had bright sunshine and then showers today. The weather doesn't know what it's doing at all. So just sticking these bits down. I'm keeping it all as one big mat because I am going to add some mixed media in the background just with a stencil. I'm going to push some ink through a stencil to create that background. But I'm just continuing to build this stack. I'm just making sure that those cards are straight. You can see I'm still persevering with my ATG. It's not too bad, and I've learned if I do it on my glass mat, if it goes over the edge, which invariably it does, like it did then, I can just roll it up into a ball and put it in the bin. So it's not too bad. So you can see I'm just using the grid on my mat here to make sure that that card is straight. More often than not, when I'm doing blocks like this, I get in a real mess and don't get them straight. So I'm trying to make more of an effort to straighten things as I go. So there are 2 ephemera packs in Joyful Notes from Pink Paislee, the icons and the journaling. So I'm just opening up the first pack and seeing what I can use from that, and then I will open up the second pack as well. And I just jumble them all together. I'm not bothered about keeping them separate. just having a play at the moment and deciding what to add. I'm mindful that I do want to cover up that water bottle, as I say, so just having a play with these florals, but also keeping an eye out for something that I could layer over the photo there. So into the second pack now, and I see this birdie, and it's vellum, so it's not really covering things up terribly well. It's kind of getting lost in the photo, so I am going to sort that in a minute. Just having a look through to see what else I can layer up with it in that section to finish covering out that water bottle. And this is where I sort out the vellum problem. I'm just going to put some glue on the gold foiling so it doesn't show through the vellum, and then I'm going to stick it onto some white cardstock and fussy cut round. It doesn't take a second, and there you go, you can see it's much clearer now. So trying to put it over the water bottle, but that doesn't work, so just grab this floral piece. That's not going to stay, I will switch that out, but I'm just having a look to see what else is there. I love this little cluster. I love all the gold foiling on this collection. It's very kitsch, but it's very me. I do like a bit of bling. So you can see I just switched that floral out, and that looks much better now, and it's more or less covering up the water bottle. There's a tiny bit of the spout sticking out, but not so as you would notice, so I'm happy with that. And then I'm just going around and starting to glue things down. So going into the rest of these pieces now, and straight away I find a tag which I want to add to the top. Thinking about adding two, but I end up just using the floral one. And then I find these banner pieces which I'm going to punch a hole in the top of and use that as a second tag at the top there. So just working out, and then using my crocodile just to punch a small hole in the top. And I will add some wax twine to that later on. So the clusters are building up nicely, the papers are building up nicely. I just want to bring something out to the right underneath that You Make the World a Better Place piece. So I'm just tearing off the bottom of this paper because it's got a script on, it needs to be the right way up, and then chopping it off, and that will go along there. And I like the way it draws your eye right the way across the page, and it's also bringing that blue into the right hand side. There's a lot of blue on the left, or there will be, so it's nice to bring that across to the right. This is one of my favourite shapes of layouts, it's almost like a sideways T, isn't it, a capital T, where you have things coming out to the right, almost to touch the right hand side of the page, and then a big strip on the left hand side. So again, you can see here, just using my grid on my glass mat to check that everything's straight, and then I can bring it back into the layout. That tag at the top's flipped over, so I'll just put that back. There we go. So bringing in one of our canvas Flair badges from Hey Little Magpie. This is just a little lavender butterfly, and it says sweet underneath. And it is a sweet photo of the two of us, so I thought that would work nicely. So just tucking that in under that die cut there. And then going to just glue these bits down. I realised when I moved the piece that it wasn't glued down yet. And then coming in with one of the craft tabs that I've just punched from some craft card using the EK Success tab punch that we sell at Hey Little Magpie. Now these are some pre-cut die cut pieces from our new floral die cuts at Hey Little Magpie, the long stem die cut dies, and I'm just trying out a few that I've cut out in white. I cut them out in white because then I can colour them in if I want to. You will have seen that in a previous video. Or I can use them as they are, which I'm doing this time. So I'm using a ginkgo leaf, the lavender sprig, and one of the cow parsley pieces. Now that one cut, the die moved when I was putting it through the machine, so it cut with a short stem, but it actually looks really nice like that, the way that it's staggered. So just having a look at the foam stickers now and seeing what I can find here. And I love this little banner of floral, so I'm just going to add that across the bottom of the photo. And then a little foam flower that just builds into that cluster, and another little blue one there. And then I find these frames in die cut pieces. That one doesn't stay up there, but I'm just having a play at the moment. This blue one I really like, and I think it will work beautifully to frame that ginkgo leaf. So I'm going to move that up and then bring that other ornate frame down, just as so they're staggered in that area there. A little pink ticket at the top just to finish off that cluster at the top there. So you can see my layout stretches almost from the top to the bottom of the page now. So just about ready to start adding the mixed media. I just wanted to have a look at the sticker sheet to see what wordy bits there were, and there was one that says hello friend and one that says happy times. So I'm going to add those to the top. And I really like how that brings more of the blue up to the top there. And then I'm bringing in one of our smiley face embroidery tags and just adding that to the top of the photo there. Just adding a bead of glue underneath the edge of the photo to keep that in place. And there you go. So now just looking to see what else I can find. I'm still not sure about this little cluster at the bottom, but I work it out. I found a little postage stamp there, that circular element that I'm about to bring in, and that gold edged banner piece that I'm just going to cluster together at the bottom left hand corner there, and that finishes that off really nicely. So just using a little bit of wet glue for ease, just to get those all stuck down. And then I think any minute now I do start with the mixed media. I seem to be messing around an awful lot. Oh yes, a couple of ribbon tabs, which I do love to add to my pages. So this orange with the cream dots, and then some black gingham just from my stash. And you only need the tiniest bit. These ribbons are lasting forever. That orange one was actually on a gift from a friend, and I just saved it in my little pot of bits on my desk, and it comes out every so often when I think it's going to work. So now just getting these frames stuck down, and that's the last thing I think before I do start with the mixed media. I'm building this mixed media up, aren't I? It's not a lot. I'm just going to stencil through, and then at the end I'll add some gold splatters right at the very end of the video. So just coming in with my roller date stamp to add the date to that craft tab. Just cutting it out on a scrap white piece of card and then sticking that to the tab, and that just makes it stand out a little bit more than stamping straight onto the tab, so I prefer to do that. So here's that stencil I was talking about. I'm pretty sure it's a Simple Stories stencil. It's not labelled, so I forget, but I'm using Salvage Patina, which works really nice with this collection, and just pushing it through the stencil. I won't make you watch all of that, but go all the way around the edges. I keep bringing the mat back in to check that I'm happy with it. And then when I've done that, I decide that I want to bring in a little bit of colour to the left-hand side of the layout. So I'm just tearing a small section off the left-hand side of the card, and then I'm going to bring a paper in to put behind it. At first, I think I'm going to use this navy blue, which I'd used as that large block behind the photo of Jackie and I, but I'm just rolling up the card so that a little bit more shows, and I decide that I actually want something brighter. It's a beautifully bright collection, this, and I have gone for quite a few dull colours, so I want to brighten it up. So first of all, I'm just going to stick this mat down. I went heavy with the ATG, probably didn't need to add quite this much. I'm still learning. And then get that stuck down. And it's definitely one and done with this. I wouldn't be able to pull it up easily, so I have to make sure that I am sticking it where I want it to go. So there we go. Now that's down, I'm just going to wet the edge of that card just to make it easier to curl it up. Like I say, I wanted plenty of the paper to show, so I do want a decent curl on that edge. And then this is where I'm going to change my mind about the paper and bring in a beautiful diagonal striped paper with all the colours. So bringing that navy in, deciding that it's not going to work. I'm using my grid behind the paper to see where it's 12 inches, but because this is a full 12-inch piece of paper, I can just line it up on the right-hand side to the card and then stick it down. And look at how glorious that is with the stripes going down there. And then I'm just folding it back and cutting along the crease. And then cutting off the branding strip because I'd left that on there. And now I'm going to come in with some wax twine through the tags at the top and leave that to trail down the left hand side. It's just a lovely tealy colour which works beautifully again with this collection. Just tying that through, and then I'm going to get my Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher, gorgeous stapler. I'd highly recommend it if you haven't got one. It's coming in so handy. I like the small staples, and it's also got quite a long reach as well, so you can get quite a long way into the page if you want to. So just a couple of staples to hold that in place. There we go. And I can't remember if I did it after the event, but I do add some gold splatters with my gold watercolour paint shortly. I just found a little vellum flower that popped at the top there. And no, I did it after I'd finished filming, but you can see here in the close-ups the splatters of gold watercolour paint. Thank you so much for joining me, and I shall see you again very soon. Bye.